What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays and welcome to the Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. I am your host, Chris Raybon. This is our NFL Week 17 betting preview. We're going to talk our top sides, totals, props, moneyline underdogs, touchdowns, and of course, build our Sunday six-pack of Against the Spread bets with the help of my co-host, the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, Stuck. Happy holidays. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? It was an annoying week. Just quarterback injuries.
Oh my God.
I really thought Washington was live to win that game. And then obviously if you get Josh Johnson, it's not going to end well. And then Lamar goes down for the Ravens. So those two were unfortunate. I had both of them. Yeah, the Ravens still found a way to be up 11 late and then choked away the lead, dropped a couple drop picks in the game. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, anytime you're down to Josh Johnson, it's not going to end well. But sometimes you get quarterback injuries that go your way. So many quarterback injuries in the NFL right now. It's insane. And that's the story of the Christmas slate. I guess we can go through that real quick.
Yeah, Dallas, Washington looks like Josh Johnson will probably make the start. Mariota did not practice on Tuesday, thinking he's going to be out, and then Daniels obviously shut down. So looks like it's going to be Josh Johnson. Commanders 7-point home dogs. I kind of feel. I mean, I kind of feel good about the Commanders in this spot. It would be Commanders or nothing for me. But which way you lean in there? I know.
I mean, numbers wise, Washington a little bit, but
yeah.
like Josh Johnson is horrendous. I mean, like he can't run an offense right now. And then there's offensive line injuries to boot. And then I don't know how Washington's going to get stops because they can't get any pressure. So Dax is just going to be able to sit back and pick them apart. And you're probably going to get some Johnson mistakes. But the Dallas defense is obviously banged up, not very good. I don't know. I can't with any confidence bet the Commanders. The Vikings just went out to 7.5-point dogs at home against the Lions because McCarthy got announced out. Brosmer will start, your boy. I thought at 6 the line was basically good with McCarthy out. And now you got this news and it's out to 7.5. I think I have to play the Vikings at 7.5. I know they have a lot of injuries. But so, I mean, because you have offensive. Darisaul's on IR. Ryan Kelly is going to be out at center. Brian O'Neill got banged up. Hawkinson. The running backs are banged up.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare for Brosmer. I mean, if they were healthy, I would definitely Vikings all day. This. I think the Lions still have enough offensively. It'd still be. I probably would need like closer to like a 10.
I don't know. I'm even with Brosmer and these injuries, I'm still under 7. I mean, like, here's the thing: the Detroit with McCarthy, when McCarthy was horrendous, already lost to this Vikings team at home, and it was because Flores was just dialing up pressure along the interior, and Goff can't do anything when that happens. I don't know why that wouldn't happen again. I mean, do the Lions have any offensive linemen left?
Oh, they've been terrible up front.
Yeah, they can't block anybody. They have injuries on the offensive line. They have injuries all across the defense. I don't even know who's available on defense. So, I mean, this Lions team they've given up over the past 5 games. They go to 460 yards per game. The Bengals are dead last in the NFL in the season at 402. I don't know. I don't trust this Lions team laying 7.5 on the road. I think I might have to take some Vikings. And then my favorite bet on Christmas, unfortunately, is the Chiefs. I can't get close to this number. I mean, this number, Aludicon is bad. I mean, all we have to go off of is like his preseason numbers, which are bad. He's going to take too many sacks. He's probably going to turn the ball over. But I mean, 13.5. This is for a Broncos team that doesn't blow out anybody. I mean, they were laying what 10.5 on a neutral against Justin Fields and won by 2 with the Jets throwing for -10 passing yards. This line is crazy. Like the Chiefs a month ago closed 4-point favorites at Denver. Let's make it easy and just say home field's 1.5 each way. So that's at the time, that's implying the Chiefs are 5.5 points better than the Broncos on a neutral field. Now, obviously, the Broncos won that game. It's kind of a coin flip game. But now this is saying that the Broncos are over 2 touchdowns better than the Chiefs without Mahomes. That's a 20-point move. I mean, Mahomes to a Ludicon. What is the max it can be worth? 11, 12 points? I mean, it can't be worth 14 points to a spread, a quarterback in the NFL. And like Minshew was horrendous. Minshew can't move. At least Ludicon, you can just use quarterback run. You can move around a little bit because you're going to need to with the state of their offensive line against the Denver front. I mean, how many points realistically can Mahomes? And by the way, Mahomes over his last 2 games was statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL if you look at completion percentage over expectation. It's not like this offense was humming. This offense was broken for the last 3 weeks. So it's not like we're going from this machine offense to a third string FCS guy. This offense was we were talking about how the offense was broken over the last couple of weeks before Mahomes got hurt. So I mean, yeah, I get there's other
12,
injuries.
12.5, maybe max. I would say max like 12.5. Like if you
It
say
can't be
Ludicon's like
14.
the worst, if you say Ludicon's like the worst backup, I would say is probably like -5.5 max. Like you know what I mean? And then Mahomes, you give him like a 7. So yeah, I'd say max, but it's probably like you said, it's probably not 12.5. It's probably something
like
less
10.
than that. Yeah, maybe like 11.
10, 11.
Yeah.
But there's also like I do like that he can move. But and here's the thing. I mean we bet the Titans last week. I thought that was a horrendous spot for the Chiefs. Like they just were eliminated from the playoffs. They sat everyone that was hurt. Their quarterback got hurt. So here's the other thing. Olodokun had to come into that game, and he didn't get any reps. Like he was the third string quarterback. Well, he has no reps with any. So at least he's going to get reps this week. But the Chiefs basically just didn't show up for that game, and I can't really blame them. The human element. They will care about this game. It's their rival who beat them early in the year, trying to clinch the division on their home field on Christmas night. Like the Chiefs will show up and care on this game. Their defense still can give Knicks problems. Plus the Broncos also just got destroyed at home. I do think their defense is a bit overrated. It's not like the Broncos are coming off a great performance. They got annihilated at home by Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. So this line and the total's 36. Like so 13.5 points is a ton. Just complete 1 or 2 deep balls against Riley Moss, get to 13 points, and you cover. I mean, what's the Broncos ceiling here? Like 21? So can the Chiefs?
It kind of reminds me of, didn't they play a game last year where?
I mean, it was in Denver. They sat literally everybody. They played their
yeah.
They lost 38.
That's what I worry about.
Yeah, but their defense is going to play here. They sat everyone last year and had no care in the world. And the Broncos needed the win. I mean, they sat literally everyone, and they just didn't. So, like, what do you make this number?
I still make it like, well, I think it's, let's see, what do I make?
I think this should be like 10.5.
I don't even know. This is like hold on.
I mean, it's a hard number to set. I'll give you that. I mean, the Ludicon could just turn it over. He could throw through 2 pick sixes. They could lose 28. I mean, they could lose 35-0. I mean, obviously. I'm just saying
Oh no, yeah, I do make this around 10. So I mean, it's just like you got to update once we get the final injury reports. I just don't know for sure if the Chiefs are in this mode where they're just like, okay, we want the best possible pick. Let's sit everyone, or they're like, all right, we took a game off against the Titans because they did have most guys were back at practice today. Rashee Rice and Thornton sat out. Watson sat out and McDuffie sat out. So it's still the cornerbacks is concerning, but it's not like you have like, I would have been worried if, just everyone was a DMP on Monday. They had only 4 guys missed practice on a Monday, and so you get 2 more practices this week, right? So you're right. They're probably going to take it seriously, given what happened last week. I don't think that's sitting too well with them.
Yeah, I have to take the
this would
points
be
here.
like a 10. This would be like a 10. I mean, feel much better about them than the Vikings, honestly, just because the Vikings may be incapable of like offense with their given their injuries, and like we did this already with the Seahawks, where it was like, all right, Vikings look good here, but it's like with no offense, the Lions are not going to score 14. Like they're going to score points. So yeah, I'd much prefer the Chiefs of these two dogs, Chiefs, Commanders. Then like my last preferred, I think, would be the Vikings, honestly. All right,
I'm Chiefs first, then I actually kind of like Vikings, and then I don't think I want anything to do with Dallas, Washington.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a non-bet, but yeah, it's just, whew, man, Ryan Kelly. I would just, it's like these injuries in the NFL this year. It seems like it's all the same people over and over again. It's like the Packers can never stay healthy. It's like the minute it comes to playoff time, everyone goes down. Lamar Jackson can't stay healthy. The Vikings O-line can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
it's just like ridiculous. But let's jump into the 6-pack for week 17. It does include the Saturday games, right? I don't think we ended up.
sure.
Did we? But okay. Which are Houston and Chargers and Packers and Ravens.
What a disastrous NFL slate. You got 3 horrible Christmas games. Who knows who's playing quarterback for Green Bay, Baltimore on Saturday night. That was supposed to be like this huge game. And then there's only 2 afternoon Sunday games, and one of them's Raiders Giants.
They gotta stop with this Raiders late window shit. Like, why are the Raiders my late window choice? Imagine being in like parts of Jersey, and you don't really like, you still use your like local TV, parts of New York, and you just get Giants Raiders instead of Bills. That would have been me if growing up as a kid. I would have definitely ended up having to watch Giants Raiders instead of Eagles Bills. Oh man. All right. Sunday 6-pack 53-40. I think I didn't end up going Titans my second. I know I picked them last, but I think I ended up going them second and Washington third. So yeah, 53-40. You're up. Another good week for you. Giants frustrating last week. Should have been in position to win, but just no offense. Too run heavy in those wins.
Well, they had the pick 6 that would have flipped the game, and Carter was lined off sides.
Oh God, Carter. By the way, just another enraging. Oh my God. Well, whatever.
We finally should have hit our touchdown parlay. DK scored, and there was OPI.
OPI, yep. And Steelers still managed to win the game.
No matter what, if there was OPI or not. That was so annoying. Yeah, annoying week. For my first pick in the first overall, the week 17 Sunday 6-pack, I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders -1.5 at home against the New York Giants. This Raiders team is bad, but they've treated me very well this year. They actually outplayed the Texans last. They should have won that game. Outplayed the Texans on the field. At one point, the yardage was 315 to 201, 5.9 to 3.9 yards per play until that final drive, and they got shafted by the refs multiple times in that game on bad PI calls. I like some of the things they did with Geno last week. Early downs, getting the ball out quick to the tight ends in space. And I think they might have found something with this kid Rogers at guard, who's playing better. Their interior gave up no pressures last week against the Texans. Their tackles are still really bad, but I do think there's a real chance Colt Miller comes back at left tackle, which would be just he's been in limited practice 2 weeks, and Pete Carroll came out today and said he wants to get him back out there. So I don't think they're shutting him down. And Pete Carroll is not a tanker. I don't think NFL teams tank on purpose. Like, the players aren't going to tank, but you can, like, from a personnel standpoint, you can just sit guys, not play them. Pete Carroll is not that. So I think there's a real chance Colt Miller plays. The upgrade over, who is it, Stone Forsythe would be enormous. And you're going up against the worst run defense in the NFL. I mean, the Giants, the only guy on the edge who could defend the run was Thibodeau, and he's on IR. They cannot stop anybody on the ground. So Genti, who really got going last week, I think could have a big game here. I think Bowers will have plus matchups all over the field. And then on the other side, you have a Giants team. Jackson Dart is just not playing very well, and he's not running as much. I think he might have hit a rookie wall. There's injuries all over. And now the Raiders might get Colton Miller back, and the Giants are probably not going to have Andrew Thomas, who got completely snubbed from the Pro Bowl, by the way. He's been one of the 2 or 3 best left tackles in the NFL this year. The Giants have other offensive line injuries as well, with Runyon and Schmitz. But if Thomas doesn't go, I mean, we've seen this in the past. The Giants' offensive line now turns into the Raiders' offensive line. And then the Raiders might get a Pro Bowl left tackle back. I think that might end up being the difference. I trust the Raiders' defense more than the Giants' defense. And I think that Genty can get going. I think that the Raiders have better weapons overall. Dart's kind of hit a rookie wall. I think the Raiders get it done at home. Give me Vegas -1.5.
Yeah.
By the way, the other thing, the last thing I'll mention is that, I mean, we just saw the Giants lose at home to, Brosmer. And, they lost at home to Mariota before then. The Raiders, yes, they've been bad. Both these teams have 2 wins. I mean, look at the defenses they faced over the past. I mean, it's insane. They faced at Houston, at Philly, Denver, at the Chargers, the Browns, the Cowboys. There was a nice break. At Denver, Jacksonville, at KC. I mean, this is 2 months of facing like top. I mean, their past month, they faced like all the best defenses in the NFL. So this will be a nice break for them as well. It's not as bad as it's looked, because a lot of that is. And finally, they put a really good performance together last week. I think they can carry some of that momentum over. So, yeah, I think the Raiders get it done at home against the Giants.
Yeah, I think you grabbed this at Raiders are still plus at a plus number, right? When you first grabbed this.
Yeah, they're plus.
Yeah.
1.5.
That that obviously makes me feel better about it. I mean, the Raiders have been bad too, but you're right. They played a tough schedule. I do think the run game is an advantage here. I think Dart is a tough one, because I wonder if last week was just due to the blitz combined with the wind. Like they're like, all right, we're gonna super run here. I don't think they passed it more than once on their first 15, 18 plays of the game. Now we're playing indoors, so you might see the Giants offense wake up. But yeah, I mean,
but then the offensive line,
Thomas, yeah. So it's like, I guess you probably just leave Theo in, or use Bellinger all game and just block on the edge. But yeah, the Giants are. I don't think they're as bad as like whatever that was last week, but they're not good. And the Raiders, they played Philly, they played Houston. They did show up last week, and Giants might be tanking. Who knows? I mean, their owner, I could see them being like, yeah, just tank. Like the Giants do weird shit. So
I would say where you could find, I'd grab +1.5 contest. We take the current line. I would, if you could find a cheap money line where I could see like where the tanking teams at the end, what can happen. We've seen this like twice before, so I mean it's not likely, but if say the Giants score at the end of the game, like down 7, they're not going to kick an extra point, right? They're going to go for 2. These teams don't need to go to overtime. They don't care about what they actually want to lose. So you could see like the world's worst 2-point conversion play called. And then the Raiders win by 1. Similarly, if the Raiders score at the end, like they're going to try to go for 2 to win, if instead of tie it. Like there is these teams.
Pete Carroll might just like try to. He might go for like a field goal to tie it at the end of overtime like that. Pete Carroll's weird, but yeah, the point is taken. I would definitely rather the money. Yeah, I would rather the money line as well.
All right, where are you going?
First pick in the week 17 6-pack. Second overall, I'm going with the Houston Texans. +2.5 is still out there. Probably going down, so I probably want to grab this. It's not getting a 3. At the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Texans played like ass last week, still managed to win. Just talked about the Raiders. Raiders showed up. Texans a little bit sleepy last week. I like the Texans matchup in this spot. So before we get into it, the the injury questions are there are 2 tackles. Now, yeah. So, but
they didn't practice today.
No, yeah, one of them did. One of them did.
Oh, they did.
One did. I think it was Brown.
I think Ursa has a broken hand. I think he might be.
Yeah, I think Brown practiced. Ursa didn't. So it sounds like Brown's going to be back. He's the better of the two, which is ideal anyway. And then they gave like Lassiter and the corners just a rest day. I think they did that last week as well. So they're pretty much at full strength outside of Ursary, who again hasn't been great. He's 63rd out of 83 tackles. So they're probably going to just have to give him some help off the edge. But this team plays well in 1-2 personnel. But the Chargers, let's talk about them, because I did say last week, I said didn't feel great about Dallas against the Chargers, just the way things were going with them. I thought the Chargers could kind of get right offensively against that Dallas D. But now we're back to a respectable defense again. And not just a respectable defense. Statistically, the Texans allow the fewest points in the league. Cowboys second most. So remember Justin Herbert, before that Cowboys game, Justin Herbert was getting sacked double-digit percent ever since Joe Alt went down in week 10. So he had 17% sack rate, 13%, 10%, 13%, 21%, 12%. That's 6, 5, 2, 3, 7, 4 sacks before none against the Dallas Cowboys. So of course, what does he do? Throws for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, completes 23 of 29 passing. His passing yardage totals before that, since Alt went down, 250, 220, 81, 151, 139, 210. He threw for multiple touchdowns. Only one other time outside the game, Alt went down. 2 against the Titans and 2 against the Las Vegas Raiders, which not hard to do. So I think this offensive line is going to still be a major issue against the Houston Texans. And that's really the difference for me, because we saw what happens when the Chargers have O-line issues against the Texans, and just everybody, but especially against the Texans last year in the playoffs. They just completely smashed them. I believe the Chargers were favored in that game. Chargers a little better at receiver this year, but Texans, as I mentioned, corners healthy. Petre still is there in the slot. So you got, he's ranked like number 2 at PFF. You got Lassiter, you got Stingley. So I just think this is a good matchup for the Texans. I think Chargers are being a little bit overrated just based on the fact that they squeaked out. They beat the Raiders convincingly, but that was the game Herbert first got hurt. It wasn't really that great of a performance. The Raiders just were in the middle of stinking. Got lucky against Philly in that overtime game, and Hurts just threw away the game. They needed 4 or 5 turnovers and one at the end of overtime by 3. Then they play just a Kansas City team that was driving down the field. If that's Mahomes in there, they probably lose that game. Gardner Minshew comes in, 3 good plays, and then immediately it's like false start, incompletion, turnover, or delay a game, incompletion, turnover for Minshew. So that's what the Chargers have been up to ever since these O-line injuries. They got blown out by the Jags, they beat the Raiders, and then they got 2 lucky wins and then blow out a team with no defense. So I just think Houston is the better team, and I think Houston matches up well here with the Chargers. And I think Houston's offense has been, last week it was a little shaky, but you got Marks return to practice. So
they need Marks. Marks is huge because they just have no run game with it. No juice in the run game without him.
Hey, no Jawhard Jordan slander on this pod, but no, you're correct. I think
what they run for 3 yards per carry last week against the Raiders.
They'll probably do that with Marks, but I think he gives them more in the pass game, and which could be necessary if they want to.
But he also can hit a couple big ones. Like he can hit more some explosives, and in the passing game, he gives them some juice as well. So
the Chargers, Roman's talking about going medieval on them, and in a regular type of game, they're going to have to be more run heavy than they were against Dallas, where 29 pass attempts, 300 yards. There's only maybe like 5-6 defenses that they can do that against, and this is statistically the best one in the NFL. So give me the Houston Texans. I just think the market is overreacting to like the Texans' close win against the Raiders. And for what it's worth, road teams have always been really good on Saturday football. I don't know if there's much to it, but we do have a pretty large sample size. Going back to 2004, road teams are 68-46 against the spread, 60%, 50% ROI, according to our Action Labs data. And Stroud has been 59% in his career as a dog. So give me Houston.
Would lean that way. I prefer lower scoring game, good teaser piece for me. We'll find a dance partner, maybe the Titans, lower scoring game, get that up over 3 and 7 as well. For my, but yeah, offensive line injuries on both sides, good defenses. Don't see a lot of explosive plays, probably a lot of negative plays. This one has like uh 20 to 17 written all over it.
Chargers is getting lucky though. I mean, like they can't keep doing this with this piss poor offensive line, and they essentially clinched a playoff berth without doing anything with the. I think with the Colts losing that game on Monday night. So like I just think the Chargers luck is running out at some point. Houston had their like bad game last week. I think Houston bounces back here.
I would lean that way. I'd make that basically a pick. I do have the Texans rated higher.
Yeah.
For my second pick and the third overall, the Week 17 Sunday six-pack, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5 at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you follow along the Action Network app, I got 4.5 early in the week. I'm okay with anything over 3. Browns, for what it's worth, I got my action wrapped. For the second year in a row, the Browns are my most profitable team, mainly just because I bet the Browns at home, where over the past 3 seasons, they have been the most profitable team in the NFL. And on the road, they're 6-18 against the spread, the worst team in the NFL. Their defense just plays at another level at home, and they are going up against a Steelers offense that won't have DK Metcalf, who's suspended for the final 2 games, that has offensive line injuries. And there's going to be major, major, major wins in this game, which is why the total is they're sitting at 33, 33
yeah, 33 and a
and a half.
half. Jesus. Oh man.
I mean, like 20 to 30 sustained, it looks like. Gust higher. All like points are at a premium here. So like getting over a field goal. And like DK Metcalf, even when he doesn't have huge games, you could see when they're like at the goal line or big downs, you have a safety usually cheated over his way, right? So everyone else becomes so much easier to defend. And it's not like they have great man beaters. I mean, who's Rodgers going to be throwing? It's going to be Scotty Miller and Adam Thielen and
Here's a question: Who realistically has a better wide receiving core in this matchup, given that Metcalf is out? Because you have Roman Wilson, Valdez Scantling, Thielen, Calvin Austin, who might be out, Ben Skoranek, and Scotty Miller for the Steelers, and then you have Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, Gage Larvidan, and Malachi Corley, and potentially Jamari Thrash, who's apparently back on the roster. Like who you Cleveland might actually have.
I might take the Browns.
Just because of Jeudy, right? Just like, probably the best receiver there, which is not saying much, but that's notable.
Yeah, and I mean Steelers have injuries on the defensive side as well. We've seen their run defense get carved up. That's what now Judkins is out for the Browns, which is definitely concerning.
Rocket Sanders, though. Rocket Sanders. I like him.
I love the way that he looked. So they're just going to try to pound him in short passes from Sanders, but this is going to be on the defense. I think Garrett probably gets the record here. The defense is going to be juiced up at home. Here's how this game plays out, by the way, also. The Ravens play on Saturday night against the Packers. I have no idea on that game because I don't even know who's playing quarterback for either team. But the Packers are favored. If the Ravens lose, the Steelers clinch the division. And right now the Steelers are 9-6. If the Ravens lose, they fall to 7-9. The best they can do is 8-9. They're out. So that means the Steelers on Sunday would be playing for nothing. So what does that mean? Maybe it means nothing, but you're going up against Myles Garrett. You're going up against the Browns defense. There's no Metcalf. There's a ton of injuries. So that probably means anyone who's questionable sits to get healthy. It also means in these wins with Rodgers, the division locked up, I mean, maybe you sit him. I doubt it. But what you probably do is you just run into a wall for the entire game. And then this game becomes even uglier. Like you're not dropping Rodgers back. You're not risking anything. The other scenario is if the Ravens win on Saturday night, Steelers are going for the division. And by the way, we see this every year. These teams that need to win versus teams that are eliminated, 39% against the spread. So betting on the team that has nothing to play for, 61% against the spread historically and on the over the final 2 weeks of the regular season. I love backing these teams. Also applies to the Vikings for what it's worth. Um, and the Browns, that stadium, that defense can potentially ruin the Steelers' season, making Week 18 them have to win Week 18. You know that defense will be juiced up. So I like it either way. But the more likely scenario is the Ravens lose, they're underdogs, and the Steelers might sit some guys, might change their game plan, not put Rodgers at risk. There's even a small chance you rest Rodgers, but you have Metcalf suspended. Calvin Austin is banged up. Semualu, their left guard, their left tackle's already out. I mean, their offensive line right now is not in great shape. Watt, I don't think he's going to be back. Herbig, Pierre, Eccles, like you have a lot of guys that are banged up. And I would imagine if they already have the division locked up, you sit them, right? I mean, anyone with an injury. So, but low scoring game, no Metcalf, I think is big. Browns home dogs always intrigue me. Anything over a field goal is fine here. Give me Cleveland plus 3.5.
You know, it would be interesting if the Steelers end up like being able to rest everybody, right? That would be Mason Rudolph at quarterback, right?
Garrett gets the
Garrett
record
gets the
versus
record
Mason
against
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph if he accused of saying the N word, I believe it was, to it. Like that would be, and hit him in the head with the helmet.
And then Mason Rudolph, Mason
Man.
Rudolph gets thrown out for swinging a helmet, and then Will Howard comes in.
Oh my God. Yeah, this could be an epic game. I mean, as far as the Browns go, it could definitely be an epic game.
Yeah, so like this
right.
now becomes like this. One of the reasons I like backing these teams is, like the Browns are 3-12, and I mean they're at Cincy to close the year. What a miserable game that is. They're at home against the Steelers. This is basically turns in to their Super Bowl. They'll be up for this. The Garrett record chase. Um, so you think you'll get a decent crowd. There's wind. Like the point is, this game could end 10-9. So yeah, I like the Browns here. We hopefully they'll get a little healthier. Um, but we'll see if Ward plays, Teller, Njoku. Um, we'll see. But Steelers are
I
far from healthy.
yeah, I don't know. Teller, didn't they bench him? I don't know what's going on with him and
Jenkins is fine there. I was just listing
yeah.
guys on their injury
Yeah,
report.
yeah. And then, same thing with a joke. I'm just saying. I think it's like more of a. I wonder if it's more just like not fully injury with Teller and Njoku, because both of them it seemed like they're kind of at odds with Stefanski. Uh,
Any
all right.
thoughts there?
Yeah, I lean Browns. I mean, I would honestly love if it was like closer to 6-3, but still lean Browns there. It's just like the Browns are one of these teams that are just so bad that like they could just have one of those complete meltdowns, and even against like a bad Steelers team, still end up just getting blown out. But I do lean Browns. I like the motivational angles, and I do think that their defense shows up in this Steelers. It's kind of like with the Chiefs last week a little bit, where I mean, even if Rodgers plays, I mean, you have Rodgers, a pretty average to maybe even below average O line, and your only strength is your running backs. Really, I mean, that's the difference between the Chiefs that didn't have that. But yeah, like you don't really have much there because this receiving core is straight poverty. The tight ends, I mean, against a more man-heavy defense, I don't think they're going to do as much as they've done in some of these other matchups. And then they've been getting a lot out of just like backs and tight end runs. So it just really comes down to, can the Steelers, like, do the Steelers just make Shedeur Sanders have a complete vomit game? But they're only like, I think they're like 3-10 now without TJ Watt. So I think
Yeah,
it's
and that
Browns.
helps with KT Leviston at tackle.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
no Watt, Herbig banged up. That's important because there will be a drive or two where Shador will take like 30 yards and sacks. Um, but the Cleveland run defense still for the season is one of the best run defenses in the NFL. I mean, last week Cook had a 50-yarder, but other than that, the Bills had 28 carries for 110 yards, and the Bills have one of the better rushing offenses in the NFL. So I think they can hold their own there. And Yeah. So give me Cleveland. Where are you going next?
We'll get to the second half of the six pack in a moment, but first, just want to mention that you can tell some of the bets we discussed in today's show by following the quick slip link in the podcast and video description. You can also go to actionnetwork.com/bet now to find those quick slips, or even better, sign up for Action Pro. Action Pro users get real-time alerts as soon as experts like Stuckey, Brandon Anderson, myself track picks in the app. You'll also get real-time money percentages to see where the smart money is flowing, and access to our NFL player prop projections powered by Sean Kerner and the predictive analytics team. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro to get started and use promo code POD20 for $20 off an annual subscription. The rest of our Sunday six pack is coming up in just a moment, but first I'll throw it to myself for a quick word from our sponsor. The Action Network podcast is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. And in partnership with DraftKings, our listeners get a great offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings daily fantasy sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. To get started, use promo code Action Network when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code Action Network when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours. All right, for my second pick, fourth overall, the Week 17 Sunday six pack. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts plus 6.5 at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Was on the wrong side of the Colts last night. That was just a bad call. The Niners just too much time to prepare an offense. Every possession was just up and down the field for San Francisco. So I guess it could get scary here.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts too. Their offense was good. Was good enough. There was the fumble and the kickoff. Mm-hmm. There's 7 points in a game where you weren't getting any stops. And then there was the sack fumble that they needed to get, but it turned into a 12-yard gain. Those two, and then there was a pick six, but that game was already decided by that point. But the defense, that was incredibly sad. The defensive effort by the Colts. I mean, no one showed up. The emotion from everyone. I know that they lost their center and they were so they only had one offensive lineman in their starting position, but where was the emotion? The only guy who seemed to care in your season on the line was Rivers. And the guy that 44-year-old guy, you just signed off the couch. It was really, I had the Colts too. It was disappointing defensive.
He was chirping at the refs. I was enjoying Rivers. That fumble though, there was a fumble he had. I think they ended up recovering it, but that was what we were worried about. It was a slow motion, you're playing Madden on slow, and he was just his arm went forward and the ball was but no, overall. So just for some context here, Rivers. Right now, obviously small sample, but I mean, everyone was the market was essentially thinking Rivers is the worst possible quarterback. His passing yardage prop, I think, against the terrible Niners D, his no pressure was 160 or something like that. I think he was over that in the first half, but he's 23rd in expected points added, completion percentage over expectation composite. Just out of all quarterbacks that have had at least 20 dropbacks. So because it's a small sample, but he hasn't been just this, oh man, he's just a Brosmer level or third string level kind of quarterback. He's been solid, and he looked a lot better on Monday night. He made some good throws, accurate throws. It doesn't look pretty coming out of his hands always, but in adjusted EPA per play, he would rank 20th out of all quarterbacks. And in just regular EPA per play, he's about 0.03, which is, he's still adding points. That's for reference. That's right around Jacoby Brissett and Jaden Daniels. So, not great, but not certainly not terrible. And now you're talking about a division game at home for the Colts, another home game for them. And this team. So obviously you're not Daniel Jones was playing really well this year. Rivers not going to be on that level, but competent quarterback play from this team. The defense won't always be that bad. I really don't know what that was. Sometimes you see that though in these interconference games. They tend to, not as much familiarity. A guy like Shanahan just ran circles around that defense. But this is a division game, second division game. Colts in a revenge spot. I think they show up here, and the Colts on the year, fourth in DVOA overall. Jacksonville 5th. So the Colts are still a very good team, very talented team. I know they have some injuries, but they'll probably use Mo Alley Cox as a second blocker if they need to, or use Abdul or Taylor to block there. So I think Rivers will still get the ball, be able to get the ball out. And the important thing is he can still place it accurately, which I was really worried about even coming into last night. So I just think this is too many points for a Colts team that is still pretty talented and on the ropes now, desperate spot in a second division game at home, catching 6.5 against this Jaguar team that has been very good, and we love the Jags, but not as good on the road and coming off just a really, really big win against the Broncos. But they got outgained 445 to 346 in that game. Before that, they had played the Jets, Colts, Titans, and Cardinals, and Chargers with no O-line. So Jaguars, I do see a bit of a letdown spot here. I know it's coming. Like everyone's just, oh man, Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen. I mean, we were saying this before the season started, but I think this is potentially the peak of the market for the Jags and the low for the Colts now that they're only a game above 500. They just got blown out in prime time. Everyone thinks they're essentially done. I think they show up here in the division game. So give me the Colts plus 6.5. Teams off. We also like teams off blowouts. And also the Jags they're on a big against the spread winning streak. I believe they've won 5 in a row against the spread. Teams on 3 games or more. Teams of 3 games or more on 30 plus points too. Those are 50 and 36, 58% against the spread. But home dogs by more than a field goal. That got blown out by 20 or more in the previous game. 112, 71, and 61% against the spread going back over more than the last 2 decades. Underdogs just off losses of 20 plus period are 170 and 131 with 9 pushes, 56% over the last 2 decades. So this is just a nice spot, I think, for the Colts to bounce back. But I also don't think they're quite as bad as the market thinks with Rivers, and this is second divisional home game, so give me Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'll probably be on this with you, but my only concern about betting this now is so it's sitting at 6.5. Now it wouldn't matter for the contest, but it's Sauce Gardner. Is he shut down for the year?
He might be. It's not looking great. It's not looking great for him. They got Buckner back, but yeah, Ward is on IR. Gardner. It doesn't seem too promising. So that's a concern, obviously.
But I was just wondering that out. But if the Colts will be eliminated if the Texans win on Saturday, and if that happens, you might see money come in against the Colts. I don't care about that, and I love betting against teams that have nothing to play for against teams that do. And a lot of times, it's because you get maybe an extra point here or there. So I might wait to see if a 7 pops.
Yep.
If that's the case. Because look, I just bet the Colts plus 6.5 at home against the Niners. The Colts 4. So now we're saying like the Jags are 2.5 better than the 49ers on the neutral. No. I know it's a short week, but the Jags are coming off a road game at Denver. I don't think a team's covered after playing in Denver all year. So yeah, this is like buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Betting NFL 101. So I'll probably be on that. By the way, the Colts path is insane if you're like a diehard Colts fan. So in order for the Colts to get in, they need the Texans to lose this week against the Chargers. They need and then the Colts need to beat the Jags. And then if the Colts beat the Texans in week 18, then both teams would be 10-7, splitting the season series, have the same division record, the same conference record, the same record in common games. So then it comes down to strength of victory. And their strength of victory right now is like they're separated by 1 win. Like that's how it's 442 win percentage to 438. There's a chance that gets tied, and then it goes to strength of schedule, which is they're basically the same. There's a chance that's tied. Like there's a mathematical chance that's tied, and then it goes down to like best combined ranking among there's some crazy thing. So like if you're a Colts, you won't even know all these games. Like if you can like plot all this out. Like one of the most important games for the Colts this week is like the Bucks Dolphins, and like Bears Niners. These are the games that matter. Rams Falcons, Ravens, Packers, Broncos, Chiefs. Um, so yeah, and then like in week 18, like Miami, New England, New Orleans, Atlanta, like all these games matter for the strength of victory. So pretty wild. I
Yeah,
love it.
I mean, all I know is that our Jags are looking good for that division, and our Bears are looking good for the
Yep.
division. So those are two like kind of upset division bets that we made before the year. So
Yeah, I
happy
had
about
three
that.
upset teams, three long shots that I invested in, which was the Cardinals, Jags, and Bears.
2 out of
So
3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3
hopefully
ain't
get
bad.
hopefully get two of them. But yeah, if the strength of victory and strength of schedule is tied, I don't remember that ever happening. It goes to best combined ranking among conference teams in points scored and points allowed in all games. I don't even know what that means. Um, Best combined ranking among conference teams in
Point
points
differential
scored. Oh, that's just points differential
of your
in
of your of your
in your
conference
conference.
conference opponents. Yeah of
So
your no
conference
in your
opponents.
conference games. Is that for opponents or for them? Is it?
Best combined ranking among conference teams in points scored and points allowed in all games. So that seems like why would that be
Oh,
different?
your opponents. I guess it's your strength of schedule, your opponent point differential, your conference opponent point differential. So your
Yeah.
conference opponent's strength of schedule. It's like instead of going from your strength of schedule, now you're looking at your opponent's strength of schedule because you're already tied in your own strength of schedule. I think what they're trying to. I think what they're trying to say. But you're right. That is a
The
mouth.
point differential for the Texans right now is 97. The Colts are
68.
68. So the
No, but I
Texans,
think I think it's the point differential of their opponents. I'm saying. I
yeah, in
think.
conference games, I don't know. I've never seen it get
Yeah.
down that far. It would
I
take a
mean,
lot for that to be tied to, but whatever. All right, let's move on. For my
yeah.
third pick and the fifth overall, the Week 17 Sunday six pack, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills -1.5. There's some minus ones out there. Doesn't matter for the contest. We'll go -1.5. Not much to this, to be honest. It's Josh Allen at home needs to win a game. As a dog or a favorite, wonder if you'll go Josh Allen, 31, 14, and 2 against the spread. The most profitable quarterback in the history of the NFL as an underdog or favorite of less than 3. Do I need Allen to win at home? That's it. Yes. So the Eagles might get Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter back. I don't know why they would rush them back, but it seems like they're trending towards playing. They already clinched the division. That would obviously help. But do I think this Eagles offense is fixed because they scored a bunch of points against the Raiders and Commanders? No, uh, I do not. They look. I think they're maybe trending a little better because Hurts is using his legs more, which I think is important. But this is until I see it against the, and the Bills aren't a great defense, but they're going to play a ton of zone. They're going to limit explosive plays, and until I see this Eagles offense do anything consistently against a competent defense, I'm not going to believe in it. And it's Allen at home. It's not that like now the Eagles do shut down tight ends. The Bills don't have great receivers on the outside to take advantage of the Eagles' number 2 corner spot, but um, this is Josh Allen at home needing to win a game against what I consider still a broken Eagles offense. And this is a tough week. There's still a lot of injuries. So that was the last thing that I liked. I mean, the other we'll go through the rest of the games. I mean, from a side perspective, um, maybe the I mean, yeah, there wasn't anything else. One you're going to talk about next, but on Sunday and Saturday, Ravens Packers. I don't even know who's going to play in quarterbacks. So there's not much I can do. There's still a lot of injury stuff, but you're going to just give me Josh Allen to win a game at home. I'm going to take him more times than not. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, Bills are right side. I was thinking about going with them too. Just hate fading the Eagles. They're one of those teams that just seems to like pop up right when you think they're dead. But I do think I mean, I would think they would be smart to not go super hard in this game, just because, like you said, they're a little bit banged up. They got the division under wraps, and suddenly looking real live again. There's a time when I was like, "Ah, man, Eagles and the Lions are like they're not carrying it over this year. Lions are still on the brink, but Eagles back in decent position here. But yeah, I think the Bills are the right side. I do worry about their run defense now that the Eagles have seems like they figured some things out on the ground. Bills defense is not good this year. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed because I know, did you have a like a Super Bowl ticket on them too? I think we talked about them as a seed. Oh yeah, so I have a Super Bowl ticket on them, and I'm thinking they're like sitting pretty with the Ravens and the Chiefs probably out, but their defense has been awful. But yeah, I do think they're the right side, because I think this Eagles offense is still going to struggle, especially Bills zone heavier team. You can still see some of those issues for Hurts creep back up. But
the other thing is their Eagles kicker might be broken. Could come into play.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last week too. It's like, what is going on with Jake Elliott, especially another
He's got the
outdoor. Yeah, that's something to watch for the playoffs. But for my third and final pick, the 6th overall of the week 17 6-pack, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers plus 7.5 at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this number is too big. The Panthers, for what it's worth, are not as good as their record. Let's get that out of the way. You know, they've been getting lucky they've been getting some lucky wins here. They are, what's their point differential? Minus 50. Yeah, so they're minus 50 and they're 8-7. So like, I'm not trying to say the Panthers are, you know, this they're the class of the NFC South. I think the Bucks choked away that game last week, but Seahawks also have been getting lucky. They're running extremely hot. They've won 9 out of 10. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Vikings down the stretch last year, where they were just hot with Darnold, and then it's like the last couple of games of the year kind of fell apart a little bit. But Seahawks get the return last week. Rams ended up firing their special teams coordinator after that, but Seahawks were down 2 touchdowns with in the fourth quarter of that
down
game
16.
last week. Yeah, down 16, 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, I should add. And then they win on a 2-point conversion. So I mean, that is luck in itself right there. The week before that, they beat the Colts with Philip Rivers in his first start in 5 years by 2 points. 2 points, and they needed a field goal late to do it. And then they faced the Brosmer Vikings, the Cousin Falcons, the Titans, where they won by 6, the Brissett Cardinals, the Commanders with was that? I don't even remember who that was. Was it Daniels? Daniels got hurt in that game. So I mean, it really hasn't been much in the way of competition. I think Darnold is still trending down. Everyone's gonna kind of be like, oh man, coming off that last game. But again, essentially he's turning the ball over, still at close to his career rates. He's always been a turnover prone guy. And this Seahawks team is just it's very good, but it's not 8 points on the road against a competent team in Carolina, who, by the way, has been a lot better at home. Them and the Jaguars.
And as a dog, they had the most wins outright as a dog in
which
NFL
is nuts.
history.
Yeah,
for the whole season. They can break the record here.
Yeah, and then I think coming into I want to say they were like 0-14 as a dog straight up, or something crazy like that too. Like they weren't, like they would always lose as dogs, and now they just can't lose. But yeah, I just think this is too many points for a Seahawks team that is competent. They're not going to get a ton of pressure, but again, Darnold can still turn the ball over, and Carolina's offense is good enough with Dowdle, Chuba, Coker's coming on strong. They got the tight end involved a little bit last week, so I just think this is too many points here for the Seahawks on the road. They've been having some close calls. The Panthers, all they do is play these 1-score games. So, and in the NFL this year, 7.5 to 9.5 point dogs are hitting about 57%. It's just hard to get margin in today's NFL, where every time there's like a change of possession, teams are getting balls like the 30-yard line. So yeah, give me Carolina here to at least cover the spread. I wouldn't be surprised if they got the upset, just given how they're playing this year. But if you look at teams that have won at least 9 of 10 straight up, like the Seahawks, coming off an ATS loss, those teams are just 32-46 and 9 and 6 against the spread. So that's only 41%. And then in December, they've only covered at a 42% clip in the same spot. So these teams tend to struggle to cover by margin late in the year. Give me the Carolina Panthers, who may be on the way to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens with the Bucks, but give me Carolina here, still playing hard late in the year.
Numbers wise, would lean your way for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. I mean, because Carolina, like I said, has been getting a little lucky, but 7.5 points is a lot for a confident team against like a good, but not. I don't think the Seahawks are as elite as everyone thinks just because they beat the Rams. I still see some issues.
Yeah, the Rams should deserve to win that game.
Yep. All right, so let's see. We got Geno Smith, CJ Stroud, Shador Sanders. You got the well, then I give us Phillip Rivers. So and then you go with Josh Allen. So yeah, and then I got Bryce Young. So yeah, Bryce Young, Phillip Rivers, Shador Sanders, Geno Smith, 4 of the 6 quarterbacks on this week 17 six-pack. That's where we
I had Geno and Shador last week, going back to the well.
Woo. I'm at man. This is where we're supposed to be though. That was our week 17 Sunday 6-pack. Again, if you'd like to tail some of the picks, just look for the quick slip link in the podcast and video description, and be sure to sign up for Action Pro for instant notifications when all of our bets are tracked. All right, now it's time for our favorite totals of the week. All right, favorite total of the week. That Bills game last week, just nightmare start for the total with Shador going like 8 of 8 on the first drive and Cook breaking a long run, but I'm going to go with the Bucks. Bucks Dolphins over 45.5. So Dolphins defense kind of played the way I thought they would finally. I mean, I think they've been just getting lucky with the opponents that they've faced. They faced just like the Jets, the Cousins, Falcons, the Saints. Like the Dolphins defense really hadn't been tested. And I still think the Bucks are going to wake up a little bit offensively. I mean, it's been looking bad. Baker might be hurt. I don't know what's going on. They've been going super run heavy, but I do think that at some point they're going to wake up. I mean, their receivers are still completely healthy. They got their backfield back. I just don't see how they continue to underperform like this. So I like the Bucks to put up some points here. I'm not saying they'll win, because I thought Ewers played a little bit better than maybe the final stat sheet showed, because he had no touchdowns, a couple of picks, but did get it done for 8.7 yards an attempt. If McDaniels thinks he gives him a better chance than Tua, then I mean that is saying something. So Dolphins, Waddle's playing well. Waller, I don't think they have much defensively, but I think their offense is sneaky solid, and I think the Bucks are just, I mean, they've just been playing below what they're capable of. So I think at some point they're going to wake up, and their defense has kind of fallen off a cliff too. Like lost in the, when's the offense going to wake up? Their defense has not been very good for a couple of months now. And starting the year, their defense was very good, and now it just hasn't really been working out for them. So I just think both of these teams are going to be able to put up some points, could have a back and forth. Looks like 75 degrees and clear. So nothing too crazy as far as weather is concerned. So yeah, give me Bucks, Dolphins over. Where you going?
I'll more on that game later. I'm going to go. I don't really love many totals this week, especially right now with injuries and weather watching. But I think this one's a little too high. So I'm going to go with Cardinals, Bengals under 53.5. It's a bit scary with these two offenses and defenses, but there could be some wind. Cardinals going outdoors. The Cardinals are going to try to do everything they can to limit explosives, and Burrow is probably going to have lots of success driving down the field methodically. That's going to take some time. You need like everything to go right. I mean, to get into like the high 50s, 60s. So Bengals defense is playing a little better of late, especially if you just remove that snow game against Allen. Like you can always just remove games against elite quarterbacks in snow over conditions. But I just think this is a little bit too high. This is a luck under as well, for what it's worth. But yeah, we're going to go Cardinals, Bengals under 53.5. Don't love it, but I do think it's a little too high.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals offensive line is still really banged up. The only problem is their defensive backfield and defense in general is just as banged up. But if they played a 26-19 game with the Cardinals last week, it's really about the Bengals. Like if their defense can play the way it's been playing outside of that game, I think this goes way under because they're going to score. I think the Bengals are going to score points. Like at first I was looking at that number, like 7 is a lot for the Bengals, but Cardinals just so banged up. I mean,
all over every level, there's injuries.
Yeah. I guess Harrison is probably going to play more snaps this week. We'll see about that. But yeah, I'd lean this way too. I just think that is a high number for like two non-elite teams. I know the defenses are bad, but one of them could always lay an egg in
Yeah.
this spot. Probably the Cardinals. So don't hate it. So Bucks, Dolphins over 45.5. Cardinals, Bengals under 43.5. Those are our favorite totals for week 17. Now it's time for our money line underdog parlay. I think you had another one. So we're up to 14-2 now on here. I mean, yeah, just I don't even need to parlay these. Just take yours. But who are you going with?
We're gonna go with the Dolphins. By the way, the teams that need to win in week 16 and 17 against teams that are eliminated. Well, if you take the teams that are eliminated playing for nothing, they're 108 and 69 against the spread since we started track. Well, and I've gone back to, I think this is since 2000, 61%. I think this is another one where the line's a little bit too high. Baker Mayfield is broken. I mean, since week 7, his EPA plus completion percentage over expectation. He's 36 out of 39 quarterbacks. The quarterbacks behind him are like Brady Cook, Dylan Gabriel, and he's basically like tied with Shador and right above JJ McCarthy. So I don't know if he's hurt or what's going on, but I mean they haven't covered in what, 2 months? This team is broken and the defense has fallen off a cliff. It's ugly. So yeah, Dolphins, they're leaning into the run. The Dolphins run defense is like they're where they still have a pulse. Where you attack the Dolphins is their secondary. Until I see Baker do something, there's a chance they lose this game. And then the other thing is that if Seattle destroys Carolina, I don't think that's going to happen, but if they're up like 35-0, then the game means nothing to the Bucks. So do you then go into just like conservative mode? We're not going to do much the second half. You know what I mean? Like if it's close, like we can't get anyone hurt. Because if the Panthers are getting blown out at the same time, like blown out, then the game means absolutely nothing to Tampa. Very, very small potential, but it's worth mentioning. But yeah, we're going with the Dolphins. Hopefully move to 15-2.
I'm gonna get much uglier than that. Let's get real spicy and go with the New York Jets. Gotta find a way to get them back on the pod after I smartly, I guess, didn't end up going.
I'm glad you did not.
Yeah, that was ugly. But let's go with them. Plus 730 here. So this is just as simple as you see this late in the year sometimes, where a team, just elite team coming off an emotional, like big win, you know, as did the New England Patriots against the Ravens. Now you're playing a division game on the road. Second, is it the second division game? They played the Patriots yet this year?
What's that? Yeah.
They played them already, right?
Yeah. They played them in, I mean, I think it was, yeah, the Patriots won 27-14.
14, yeah. Oh, Thursday night. That was what it was. Yeah. Thursday night game. So yeah, the Jets covered in that. I guess I think they were 13.5 on the road, and I think they ended up losing by 13. So now, you know, they're at home. There's a non-zero chance the Patriots lay an egg here. So I just want to get a long shot number here. Obviously, just go with the spread if you're not feeling it, but no. Like the offensive line for the Patriots, I think is still an issue. You had Wilson going to concussion protocol. You're still without Campbell, and then
they got more injuries on the defense too last week.
Yeah, and then you're like, so your best Trayvon Henderson was their entire offense in that game on Thursday night, right? He's in the protocol, probably misses, and then Booty, who's been one of your top receivers all year, he's also in the protocol, and then Demario Douglas is on the injury report. So like a lot of your your most explosive offensive players are kind of out or trending out, and then your offensive line's banged up, and then your defense is banged up, and you have you just coming off that big win against the Ravens last week. So there's a chance it's just a major letdown spot, and it's second division game. We just see these things this time of year. So just going with a long shot here, but more realistically, the Jets just end up, covering the number in an ugly one. But at over plus 600, I got to take a little sprinkle on the New York Jets here. So give me the Jets. That's gonna give us a massive parlay odds. But any thoughts on this one?
I mean, this line's too high. This is a crazy line. Like this is saying the Patriots are over 2 touchdowns better than the Jets. So like, I
Yeah,
mean, the Patriots are good. They're not like a +5 or 6.
they're below average DVOA. They're actually 17th in
Yeah,
overall
they're like
DVOA.
I have them like as a +2. Like
Yeah,
they're so like that. This is implying that the Jets are like uh a -12. I mean, that's crazy.
close, but yeah, it's like
They're like a
they're still a
-10.
professional football team that's
Yeah.
in a division game playing for pride. Like you said, the players aren't going to tank, even if the
Now,
yeah.
the other thing is, uh, if there was that, the Patriots are getting so lucky. I mean, I not only that they have the easiest schedule in the last 25 years, and that doesn't even account for all the backups they faced and all the quarterbacks they faced that have been benched. And like they got Huntley. Um, 8 of the 11 quarterbacks they've either been benched or backups or rookies. I mean, they beat Josh Allen and then a bunch of nobodies. I mean, it's insane. I mean, they got Baker Mayfield, who's been like the worst. Like that's the name that you're like, oh, they beat Baker. He's been like the bottom 3 quarterback. And then if they've also fourth downs, they are on the season. They are 16 of 22 on fourth down, 73% with a bad running game. Their opponents are 8 of 23, 34%. Fumbles. They've fumbled 20 times. They've only lost 8. Their opponents have fumbled 11 and lost 8. Drake May who's been incredible, great deep ball. I love watching him, but I mean, he has gotten away with so many throws. I mean, he has 16 turnover worthy plays and only 7 or 8 interceptions. Last week he had, I think, 3 turnover worthy plays. Should have had a couple interceptions, only had 1 on a really bad pass. So if there was ever a game where like one team has been really lucky all year and one team who's been the unluckiest in NFL history, I mean, you want to go with the Jets on fourth downs? They're 46%. Their opponents are 74%. Fumbles, the Jets have fumbled it 16 times, have lost 10. Their opponents have fumbled 14, only lost 4. They have no interceptions on the year.
None,
Still.
none.
So if you just get like a couple bounces, you're going to cover this number, which is too high. I'm just going to wait to see if there's a 14 that pops. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just like the Patriots could just if there's turnover regression here and the Patriots have no Henderson, no Booty, like
and Jets get some special teams. The Jets have elite
yeah.
special teams.
Oh yeah, Isaiah Williams pops or something like you could easily see them lose like 20-17, and it's like Vrabel just like, oh man, I still got work to do. But
And then
yeah,
the Bills lose. The way the season goes, the Bills lose to the Eagles, so the Patriots still win the division. Because if the Patriots win out, they still win the division. That's all they need. Oh wait, well they beat the Ravens, so that doesn't even matter.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's a major letdown spot right here. It's a major letdown spot.
So if the Patriots lose this week,
I think it would still they would still win the division.
we'll say the Bills win, Patriots win. I mean, Patriots lose. Next week, Bills win. Because Bills are home against the Jets, and the Patriots are home against Quinn Ewers. How do the Patriots play backup quarterbacks every week?
Every week.
No,
It's
Bills
not.
would win the division.
Oh, but they'd have to go 2-0 and the Patriots go 0-2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they got like a Quinn Ewers game on deck. Still a major letdown spot coming off the Ravens win. So yeah, but yeah, like spread obviously would be.
I do think it's too high. I probably will be on the Jets reluctantly.
Ugh, ugh. Yep. All right. So let's see. The money line parlay would be plus just under 24-1. So nice little juicy one here, but this should be fun. Let's get to our anytime touchdown parlay presented by DraftKings. All right, you've been hot on the money line, dogs. I've been hot on the touchdowns. Gotta get them at the same time. Almost had it, like you said with Metcalf. Got one called back.
Unbelievable,
man. Where you going this week?
I'm gonna go Tyler Warren. Him and Rivers like just haven't been on the same page, but he's been targeted 15 times over the past 2 weeks. Colts are dogs here. I like the way Rivers is moving it. Wants to get the ball out quick. I think Warren's gonna get some looks in the red zone here. So give me Tyler Warren.
Speaking of looks in the red zone, I like that one, by the way. I'm going to go Juwan Jennings to keep it rolling. He has 7 touchdowns in his last 7 games, has scored in 6 of his past 7, and there's a chance George Kittle misses this one. Pearsall could, I guess, return, but there's a chance both of those guys are out. And even if Pearsall comes back, he hasn't really been a big red zone guy. So the Niners are very read oriented. So what that means is they essentially like Shanahan will draw up the plays, and Purdy much more so than Jones has been able to get the ball to his first read. So that's just going to be a lot of McCaffrey, a lot of Jennings, and then a lot of Kittle if he plays in the red zone. So this total seems a little high. It is like 52.5, but Jennings around plus 140. He's turning into like a Mike Evans like kind of touchdown scorer for this Niner team. It makes sense because he's always been a third down guy anyway, money down guy. So like him at plus 140, Warren's at plus 190. You parlay Jennings, Warren to score, you get around 6-1 odds. That's our anytime touchdown parlay for week 17, presented by DraftKings. All right, any games we didn't touch?
I think we covered everything except, I mean, Bears 49ers at 3.5. I'd look at the Bears, especially if there's no Kittle. That hurts in the run game, and the 49ers defense is so bad. I don't think they can lay over 3 here. Short week, and Bears just keep getting disrespected. I mean, the Bears have been so lucky, so maybe this is the game where it all falls apart. But at 3.5, they should be able to move the ball on San Francisco. Although I do two running teams, it is a pretty high total.
Yeah, I was a little miffed by that, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. Niners D is overrated. Titans, Saints.
Caesar piece for the Titans. That's about it.
Yeah, and then we got the Rams, Falcons on Monday night.
One of us will have that written up.
All right, that is going to do it for our Week 17 Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. Wishing everybody out there a happy holidays. Appreciate you for tuning in. You can find Stuck on BBOC and the favorites. I'm on the Fantasy Flex as well on this pod with the Touchdown Show with Kerner and Gallant later in the week. Check out @Playbook on Twitter for our AI chatbot that can build you bet slips. Stuck is on X @Stuckey2. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award-winning Action Network app. Happy holidays. Let's get this money. Let's give this money.